Well, hello and welcome to this lesson. This is a grade 2 lesson, 4th module and lesson number 4. In this lesson, we're going to be working with numbers, adding and subtracting, all under 100. This continues our work from yesterday, but it certainly introduces a new method. And this new method, let's consider this new method something that in life will be an option for you. That means it's like part of a toolkit. If you think of your math brain as having lots of tools, lots of different ways to solve problems, and that's a good way to think of it. You don't always have to use the same tool, just like you wouldn't use the same tool when you're doing a job, right? You use the tool that you think is appropriate and helpful at that time. This method that I'm going to show you right now has a name. This is a grown-up name, at least the name that the people who wrote your math book, they call it compensation. And I'm going to show it to you right now. In fact, some of it's already done. The problem here is 17 minus 9. And you might know it. If you know that answer, you wouldn't do this method. You wouldn't go through all this effort just to do it. But you might not know it off the top of your head, so you might want to think of it another way. When we do 17 minus 9, or any kind of subtraction, what we're looking for is the difference, this space right here. In this tape diagram, we want whatever it would take to add to 9 to equal 17. 17 is the total, all right? 9 is a part, and we're missing a part, right? So how do we do that? Well, this method called compensation is trying to make a simpler problem, one that you can do this fast, right, in an instant. And what we realize is there's a special thing we can do with subtraction, and that is we could actually add something to both sides as long as we're adding the same amount to both sides, and it will make a similar statement. That is a statement that gives us the same answer. If we added 1 to the 9 and 1 to the 17, the difference would stay the same. It doesn't change, right? But we get a new problem. 1 more than 9 is 10, and 1 more than 17 is 18. And 18 minus 10 we can do mentally very quickly and know that that's a difference of 8. That's the difference right there. The difference, or that gap there, is 8. That's the size of the part. No matter what we do to this end of the two tapes, that gap, that difference is the same. Okay? That's the main idea of the compensation method, right? That's the idea of it. Let's look at another one. This one is more of us doing it on our own. What's the problem? 33 minus 19. Now, subtracting 19 from 33, that may not come to you really quickly or easily. But gosh, what if we subtracted 20? Wouldn't that be easier? How could we possibly do that? Well, 19 is really close to 20. If we added 1 to both sides, the difference would stay the same, right? So in this tape here, we know that the original number, 33, is the whole, and we're subtracting 19. But if we wanted to make it easier and turn the 19 into a 20, we'd just go like this. Add 1. And if we add 1 to this side, we have to add 1 to this side. So the new sentence would be 34 minus 20. Remember, that whole idea is that this space, we sometimes call it the difference or the gap, this part is the same no matter what we do to this side of the tape, as long as we treat them both the same way. And what is the difference here? We can see that it's 110, 4 ones, 14 is the difference. If we were to do some even without a tape, well, that's simple enough. We could draw the tape, right? Let's do the bottom one. 56 minus 38. Well, first let's draw two tapes, right? 56, there would be the long one. And 38, starting in the same place but shorter. 38. This gap is what we're trying to find, the difference, right? 56 minus 38. Now, if we added something to both sides here to make it simpler, we might be able to do it mentally. If we subtracted, instead of 38, what if we subtracted 40? It's so close to 40. What would we add to 38 to get to 40? Well, we could add 2. And if we add 2 to this side, well, we have to add 2 to this side so that the difference remains the same, right? What's the new sentence? 56 and 2, 58, minus 38 plus 2, it's 40. And now when you look at this, you can do this mentally. 58, 5 tens, 8 ones, minus 4 tens. Well, instead of 5 tens, it's 4 less. It's 110. 110, 8, otherwise known as 18. So these are examples, these are examples of what we call compensation. And you'll see some problems in your journal that ask you to try that, okay? Trying it. And if you like it, well, it's part of your toolkit. And if you don't like it or it doesn't make sense, well, don't stress out about it because you have other tools in your toolkit. And speaking of toolkits, this is the world of addition, and we're going to try here a method that you will remember, known as the number bond method. And when we add numbers, we're adding parts, and we're missing the total, right? Missing. We've got a part. We've got a part. We want to put them together to get the total. Here's a part, 28. Here's a part, 43. Wouldn't it be simple if we could turn this 28 into 30? Well, yeah, it would be easier to add 30. We're pretty good at doing that. We can do that mentally. How would we do it? Well, let's break apart the 43. And this is where the number bond comes in. This little thing here is the number bond signal. We take the 43, remove 2 from it so that we can have that join the 28. And if we take 2 out of 43, that leaves 41 as the other part. Putting it together, we have a new sentence. We have the 30 plus the 41. And mentally, you and I can put that together as 71. We call it number bond because we use a number bond to break apart one number in order to make a multiple of 10 with the other number. So, looking at these two, 49 plus 26, you and I can both see, wow, 49 is really close to 50. Wouldn't it be simpler to work with 50 instead of working with 49? Well, sure would be. How are we going to turn it to 50? Well, let's come here over to the 26 and break it apart. Let's take 1. And if we take 1 and break it apart into 1 and something else, the something else has to be 25. Okay? And now we can put this together. There's the 50. Oh, I think we write it up here. 50 plus the other part, 25. And mentally we can do this. 5 tens and 2 tens, 7 tens. And 5 ones, 75. So we have called this the number bond method of adding. And it is also a welcome part of the toolkit because certain problems lend themselves to this. And once it becomes automatic and you see it, you'd be like, hey, look, 43 plus 19. Sure be easier to work with the 20. How can that become a 20? Well, let's break apart the 43. And the 19 needs 1, right? So if I take 1 from the 43, that's going to leave 42 as the other part. Put them together. There's the 20, and there's the 42. Mentally, you look at this and think, I can do that. 2 tens more than 4 tens is 6 tens. 6 tens, 2 ones. And we have it. All right? So that's the way that we would do the number bond method with addition. And earlier, what we did, I think we said it once, but I want to say it again. This method called compensation only works with subtraction. It's only a toolkit. It's only a tool, rather, that can be used when we subtract, when we're trying to find this difference, the gap, right? All right? Best wishes to you.